Are there caps in Utah for a medical malpractice award? Attorney Ralph Petty explains that. There are caps for the general damages in Utah. Statutorily, they are $250,000, but the statute gives the cost of living every year for the inflationary pressures that push on those damages. The cap for non-economic damages, or what we call general damages, is about $450,000 now. The juries are limited, and they can give whatever value they think is appropriate for the loss of consortium or for the loss of enjoyment of life. But that is then statutorily reduced by the judge to $450,000, or the calculated rates of increase of the cost of living since the $250,000 statutory provision was enacted and now has increased through the inflationary pressure. The economic damages are unlimited because they are quantifiable, and they are necessary for an individual to have that compensation in order to be able to maintain life and not become a ward of the state. The real risk in these cases is that if the actual compensation sufficient to provide for the life of care and treatment that the plaintiff needs is not provided by the jury, then that individual and the society runs a risk that that plaintiff becomes a ward of the state and has to be maintained through state funds. This is expensive and problematic because the states and the populace at large should not be responsible for the error or the damage in the injury. Nevertheless, because of these types of caps and because of the system making it so difficult for plaintiffs to get to a verdict and get to a court to have a jury hear their case, there are many individuals at both extremes of that spectrum who aren't injured badly enough to justify the risk of a medical malpractice case. People that are very seriously injured are oftentimes not awarded enough economic damages to compensate them for the lifetime of care and dysfunction that they will lead. If the jury doesn't fulfill its obligation, or the jury is confused or misled by the defendants, then those plaintiffs can very easily, because of their precarious financial condition, become wards of the state, meaning welfare and other subsidies to try to keep them maintained in the basics of life. Call attorney Ralph Petty in Salt Lake City, Utah for a free strategy session today. The law office of Ralph C. Petty has been confidently and skillfully assisting clients with their legal needs since 1981 and is not afraid to fight for you no matter what it takes.